What is going on, guys? We have another Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle for you. Today, we are up against Mago, and looking at his team, it's so damn frightening. It's so highly overused, yet frightening. I got some overused Pokemon too, such as that Chansey, that Landorus, and that Kyurem-B. Now, usually, teams like Magos, they're going to run Greninja or Talonflame. So, gotta watch out for that. I'm going to lead off. I can lead off with two things. I can lead off with my Choice Scarf Rotom or my Choice Scarf Kyurem. Since, yes, my Kyurem does have the Fusion Bolts. And that's exactly what I'm going to lead off with. So, I am carrying the Fusion Bolt, and I just go for my Choice Scarf. Extremely effective, super effective, devastating Fusion Bolt, and it'll nicely take out this Talonflame. That's pretty sweet. Luckily, my opponent did not overpredict that. So, here comes his Scizor. I am Ice type. I am weak against that Bullet Punch. So, I don't want him to set up, but at the same time, I really don't want to get hit by a Bullet Punch. So, I'm gonna go into Landorus. It'll drop his attack. You know, pretty nice. And as a matter of fact, my opponent does go for the Swords Dance. He is not Mega Evolving this Scizor, so we know that this Scizor is not a Mega Scizor. So. Now, I could go for two things. I can go for the Earthquake or Stealth Rocks. Earthquake will actually do a decent amount. It will probably do like a very close to it KO, but instead, I'm just like, you know what, let's just go for a Stealth Rocks. I know that Talonflame is gone, but, you know, I still kind of want my Stealth Rocks. Now, he does have to go for his +3 Bullet Punch, and I just go for my Earthquake. That Bullet Punch did way too much. I'm going to die to the next one, so. Yeah, unfortunately, nothing in my team really wants to take 2 Bullet Punches, so I kind of just have to let Landorus die. But, you know, at least I got my rocks up, and I did, you know, a little bit less than half to that Scizor. It's a little underwhelming, but Landorus did its job, so that's all good. Here comes a Starmie now. I do outspeed him. Bullet Punch will not kill me, so I go for that Life Orb Hydro Pump. Luckily, I did land it, and of course, it shall finish off the Scizor, so if I did miss, I'm pretty sure I would have died. For fucking sure. So, here comes the Blastoise. Pretty sure it's a Mega Blastoise, and I do have Thunderbolts on the Starmie, but a Thunderbolt will actually not kill a Mega Blastoise, so I gotta get out of here because I don't want to get hit by a Dark Pulse. So, I can go into the Chansey. It'll nicely eat this Blastoise up. Not to mention, even if this Blastoise does have the Aura Sphere, which they usually do, it's still not going to do too much to Chansey because Chansey is way too damn beefy. Look at that. That Dark Pulse. Mega Launcher Dark Pulse absolutely did nothing, so. I went ahead and just go for the Toxic, honestly. Nothing in this team is immune to Toxic. He has no Steel types, he has no Poison types, so I'm free to hit him up with that Toxic, and that's exactly what I do. No, I wasn't sure what he's gonna do. He'd go for Swords Dance, and go for Stealth Rocks, and go for a multitude of things. I actually thought he was just gonna start using attacks, so instead of, you know, doing Size House, I just went for the counter, but turns out he is setting up, so my opponent really loves setting up. And here, after seeing counter, I'm pretty sure my opponent is gonna go for another Swords Dance, but turns out he's gonna go for Outrage, so I'm like, damn, I should have just went for the counter. Instead, I went for a Psychic Toss because, like I mentioned, really, like, if my opponent saw that, you know, I have counter, I didn't expect him to use an attack, but yeah, I did live his Outrage, and I could have actually used counter, but I guess, you know, I overpredicted. But not that it really matters, since if I had landed that counter, you know, the Rough Skin would have killed Chansey anyway, so. At least I can just bring out my Starmie now. It outspeeds the Garchomp for sure, and it'll just hit him up with that Psychic. It'll nicely finish off Revenge Killer, so an eye for an eye. So I guess it doesn't matter if I use that with counter or not. Now my opponent's gonna go back into Blastoise. My Chansey is gone. I don't have a special defense wall anymore, but at least I still have Toxicroak. Toxicroak will take a Dark Pulse, not as well as Chansey, but it'll still take it pretty darn well. So he does go for that Dark Pulse. So, you know, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna go for Water Attack, so I thought he's gonna go for the Latios. So I just decided go for the Poison Jab. Or even that Greninja, you know, whatever. But turns out he's actually going to stay in. And he's just going to go for your Aura Sphere. It's not going to kill. I do resist both, you know, Dark Pulse and Aura Sphere. So I do finish off this Mega Blastoise. You know, I just went for the Drain Punch just to grab as little, as much, you know, HP as possible. It kind of negates that Life Orb damage, not really, but whatever. Here comes the whatchamacallit, the Greninja. So he does go for a Grass Knot, so he knows, he's smart, he knows not to go into he knows not to use a water move. Kinda really wish that I saved his Toxicroak and maybe bait my opponent to go for water attack, but you know, my Landorus has already died, so nothing in my team is weak to water to begin with. So here comes a Wardom now. It is Choice Scarf. I'm gonna go for a Volt Switch, but I totally forgot that this Greninja is a Protein Grass type. So I'm like, oh shit, oh well. But it doesn't really matter because I could have just switched into Kyurem regardless. Kyurem will take an Ice Beam, and you know, he'll just do, you know, a little bit over half, but it's all good. Yeah, totally forgot that he was a Grass type, but like I mentioned, Kyurem will just come in and go for that Choice Scarf Outrage and finish off this Greninja. And my opponent has one last Pokemon left. It is the Latios, and for a fact, I do outspeed this for Latios, unless he is Choice Scarf. But he has given up, so it has revealed that he is not Choice Scarf. So give a huge thanks to Mago for issuing this awesome challenge. And if you guys like this awesome battle, please leave that awesome like. Make sure to comment and stay tuned for more X and Y Wi-Fi battles. Not X and Y, sorry. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi. Have a great day.